Mom, don't be harsh on Van, please. I fear she will do something, she said, looking at her mother while she sighed. Don't worry, Maria. She will not going to do anything, she replied while patting on Maria's hand as she nodded. Maria come to meet her mother, and mostly she wanted to meet Ryan, as she knew she wasn't feeling well after their parents suddenly fixed her marriage. Did she say something? I mean, didn't she argue or tell you something? She asked as Mrs. Han shook her head. She didn't open her mouth. I don't know why she's so stubborn, but let's see how long she will stay quiet, she said while Maria bit her lip in nervousness. Don't stress yourself, Maria. She will be happy at the end, but for now we have to be strict. She should know what she has done. She didn't even share with you, and I felt so embarrassed thinking about all of this. She was in a secret relationship with Jungkook, and they both were meeting in rooms. I am very upset. If you have not tell us about all this, I don't know how long she will keep it as a secret, she said while Maria sighed, looking at her mother's disappointment. But mom, I think we are going too far. I think we should not make decisions in haste. We should wait a bit more. She saw when Mrs. Han looked at her. More, she locked herself, but she didn't speak. Do you still think she will going to open her mouth? That girl gave me a headache. She is a coward. Jungkook is not here. He went abroad. Something important came up, she told Mrs. Han. That made her brows frown. When will he be back? She asked as Maria shrugged. I don't know, maybe a week, she said while Mrs. Han gasped. What? I told Ryan that she is getting married in 2 days, she whispered Yael while Maria's eyes widened. Mom, 2 days? Oh, Mom, why are you in so much hurry? She asked in shock while Mrs. Han shrugged. Because I can't wait anymore. I always wanted them to be together. I just couldn't help. I said whatever came in my mouth so that she would speak, she said and sighed heavily while Maria laughed. When I already told you then, what make you so impatient, Mom? Oh, Mom, my baby sister will be in so much stress, she said while Mrs. Han pouted. Maria was the one who whined about Jungkook and Ryan's secret love story. When it was last day of Ryan in June's house, Maria saw Ryan secretly going to Jungkook's room. She found Ryan suspicious and decided to follow her, and there she saw them together in Jungkook's room. And in curiosity, she eavesdropped their conversation. The next day, she informed Mrs. June and her mother about this because she didn't find anything to be hidden because she got to know Jungkook doesn't want to keep their relationship hidden anymore. Both mother was shocked, but they both were happy too, as they both had wished to see Jungkook and Ryan as a couple, but they didn't let it come on their lips. When Mrs. June talked with Mrs. Han was the one who asked to act so Ryan and Jungkook had no other option but to accept their love in front of everyone, as she wanted a little drama, but now their plan got a little messy as Jungkook went abroad. Meanwhile, Ryan was in deep sorrow, sitting on a hospital's bench. She visited hospital that evening as she wasn't feeling well, so she decided to get a checkup and found out that she was a month pregnant. But instead of feeling happy, she felt pain and sadness because she wasn't able to share anything with Jungkook, as his phone was still coming switched off. Please God, help me, she murmured while looking at the reports in her hands. Just then her phone rang, and her eyes filled with tears when she saw the ID. It was from Jungkook. She immediately answered. I'm so sorry, love. He stopped when he heard sobs. What happened, man? Why are you crying? Is everything alright? Our baby is fine, alright? He asked, but only heard sobs that made him impatient and panicked. Jungkook, please come back, please. She cried out. Her tears didn't stop falling from her eyes while the people passing by the hallway started looking at her. Can you please tell me what had happened, Ryan? He asked from the other side, his voice filled with urgency while Ryan wiped her tears with her hand, her lips trembling. Mom done fixed my marriage with someone else, Jungkook. I don't know what to do. I need you, please come back. She choked on her tears as she spoke. No way, this can't be. I won't let this happen. I'm coming, don't worry. Stop crying for God's sake, Ryan. Why didn't you tell them about me, about us? He asked while Ryan couldn't stop her sobs. I'm afraid. I'm a coward. I'm scared. What if something happened to my baby? Mom was not ready to hear anything. I tried to talk to her to make her stop, but she said they will marry me off to some Sohan in 2 days. Jungkook, please come back as soon as possible, she said in her crying voice, not able to hold herself as she thinks about the situation and getting apart from Jungkook. Also, the pregnancy made her more sensitive. Listen, Ryan, don't worry, don't cry, I will be there. No one will dare to do anything. Do you trust me? He asked, while Ryan nodded. I trust you more than anything, and I am sorry that I didn't do anything. It's all happened because I was stopping you. She said as she felt guilty for not revealing their relationship. It's okay, Ryan, please don't cry, my love. He said and then asked her about the baby so that her mind diverted a bit. And Ryan told him that she is 1 month pregnant. The baby is healthy. That made Jungkook happy, but he was worried as he could imagine her condition. The day passed. Ryan stayed in her room after coming back to the hospital, and no one ever doubted on her. She told them that her stomach is upset, and Mrs. Han told her to rest. She didn't ask anything to Wine nor she talk about marriage as she thought it will disturb Wine. So she let her rest while Jungkook took flight back to Korea even though the work was not finished but his first priority was Wine. Oh Wine, you came. Look what we have got for you. She smiled when she saw Wine coming downstairs while Wine's heart dropped seeing Mrs. Jones sitting there with a heavy wedding gown placed on the table. Once already shaking legs at more slower, as she realized it was the last night of her in this home and tomorrow everything will be changed, whether in a good way or bad way. She was determined she will escape from the marriage hall if Jungkook didn't reach on time. Fine, look, I have bought this for you as a mother because I always wanted a daughter, but I got two boys. Mrs. Han already fulfilled her wishes in Maria's wedding now. I will be happy if you accept this, she said with a warm smile while Vine forced a small smile and nodded. It's beautiful, Aunt Maria, thanks. She spoke and sat beside her while Maria and Mrs. Han exchanged confused gazes. Why are you angry for the marriage? I mean, mom told me you were upset, she asked slowly, while one looked at her. I can't do anything either, so why should I make scene? It's better I accept what's in my fate. She replied, her eyes glistening, but she swallowed her tears while Maria blinked in confusion. I will join you guys later, she said and walked towards kitchen while June and Mrs. Han both looked confused. What happened, Maria? What you two were talking about? She asked while Maria smiled awkwardly. Mom, I don't know what happened to her. She was saying she is ready for the marriage. What? The two mothers spoke at the same time in disbelief while Maria blinked. I told you she is like this. She never fought for herself and that annoying. I always want my daughter to speak for herself, to take a stand for their rights, but no. Look at her, she said in noise while Mrs. Doon sighed. She has such an innocent soul, Mrs. Ann, but I am worried because why she agreed so easily. I think they both broke up, she said and startled when Mrs. Han yelled what in shock. The next day, according to their plan, they booked the wedding hall. After they found out Jungkook is coming back as Jungsu informed about Jungkook's arrival, either they decided to wait for some days but not going to back off because they wanted to push Mayan so that she will do something anything for herself. But now as Jungkook will be here, they remained on their previous plan. Jungkook, where are you? She whispered, looking out from the bridal room's window in hope that Jungkook will show up, but as the time was getting closer, she started feeling suffocated and restless. Her heart was pounding in her chest while her palms never stopped sweating. Then she saw Jungkook. His presence filled the hall with terror as his guard followed him inside, his presence screaming danger itself that made his own parents nervous, but one couldn't be happier than that. She immediately left the room and approached Jungkook. Jungkook, she called out his name breathless as their eyes met while Jungkook's heart skipped a beat seeing her in wedding gown. Come here, Ryan, he said as he reached out his hand and made her stand beside him. Now, his and Ryan's family both were looking at them, waiting for them to speak and confess what they had for each other. She is not getting married to anyone. Why? She have to. It's not like you both are in love. We do. She is mine and I will not let her to someone else, he said as he held Ryan's hand tightly while she felt protected. Jungkook, what are you talking about? Listen, don't embarrass them. He spoke while Ryan's heart raced. Everything was so overwhelming for them that she couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. But as Jungkook was with her, she didn't care for anything. I'm not making scene, you guys force her. She can't. Why are you speaking in behalf of her, Jungkook? Can't she speak for herself? It's not like we don't know what you two were hiding, but she didn't try to stand for herself. She revealed that left Ryan and Jungkook in shock. She glanced at her mother, who nodded while smiling. What do you mean, Mom? She murmured in shock, but Mrs. Han looked away as she was angry. Wyan, we all know everything. It's your mother who wanted us to act in this, so you will take a stand and tell us about your and Jungkook's relationship, but you stay quiet and agree to the marriage. He spoke, his voice was soft while Wyan frowned. I was planning to escape. I mean, I only love him and I can't imagine my life without him. I just agree so that no one suspect me. She said and heard gasp from her mother and Maria. That's my girl, he whispered while grinning as he kissed on the back of her hand. I thought you guys broke up, she said as she sighed in relief. Why you guys did this? I was so stressed and mom, I am sorry that I didn't tell you anything, but I was scared and I know I was wrong. And thank you so much for pushing me because of you. I thought of taking a stand for myself, but I am really sorry everyone. She said while Jungkook held her by her waist, pulled her closer in his warm embrace. Now please don't make my wine sad. It will affect on our baby, he said while smirking a bit, but the news left both families in shock. Are you serious? She asked with tears as Jungkook nodded. Oh my, I'm so happy, she hugged Wyan while Jungsu and Mr. June congratulated them. What a dramatic surprise we got. God bless you too, but if we didn't found out this, did you guys plan to tell us after giving birth? She said while everyone laughed. It's you who want everything in a blink of an eye, mom. We are about to announce, but we didn't got time. Oh wow, look, who is speaking now? She rolled her eyes before hugging Ryan in a tight hug. I think we should not waste this day and preparation. When everyone is here, let's do. I do. Jungkook winked at Ryan, made her blush. He then held her face and kissed on her forehead.